श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ, श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ, षट गोस्वामी गण जी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'll share the screen, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, I made you the co-host.
Okay. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3. I'm sorry, Canto 3, Chapter 5, Text 7. Okay. This chapter is entitled The Lord's Pastime. Oh, sorry, 5. Vidura's Talks with Maitreya. Okay, Vidura's Talks with Maitreya. So let's recite text 7 of chapter 5. क्रीडन् विधत्ते द्विजगोऽसुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्यवतारभेदै मनो न तृप्यत्यपि शृण्वतां नः शुश्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि क्रीडन् विधत्ते द्विजगोऽसुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्यवतारभेदै मनो न तृप्यत्यपि शृण्वतां नः शुश्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि क्रीडन् विधत्ते द्विजगोऽसुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्यवतारभेदै मनो न तृप्यत्यपि शृण्वतां नः शुश्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि. Please chant.
क्रीडन् विदत्ते द्विजगोऽसुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्यवतार भेदै मनो न तृप्यत्यपि शृण्वतां न शुश्लोकमौलिश्चिरतामृतानि चरितामृतानि. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna. Kridan vidhatte dityogo suranam kshemaya karmaya avataro vidhate manonatriptati api sunvatam na sushlokamola charitamritani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. क्रीडन् विदत्ते द्विजिगो सुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्यवतारभेदैः मनो न तृप्यत्यपि शृण्वतां नः शुश्लोकमौले सुचरितामृतानि. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण क्रीडन् वितत्ते द्विजगुसुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्यवतारभेदे मनो न तृप्यत्यपि शृण्वतां नाम शुश्लोकमौलिश्चरितामृतानि.
Okay, we'll do word to word translation. Kridan, manifesting pastimes. Krida, activity, pastimes, manifesting pastimes. Vidhatte, he performs. Dvija, twice born. Go, cows. Suranam, one second. Of the demigods. Kshemaya, welfare. Karmani, transcendental activities. Avatara, incarnations. Bhedaihi, differently. Manaha, mind. Na, never. Tripyati, satisfies. Api, in spite of. Shrinvatam, continuously hearing. Naha, our. Sushloka, auspicious. Maulehe, of the Lord. Charita, characteristics. Amritani, undying. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in His different incarnations for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of His transcendental activities. Let's read that again.
That's true.
You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in His different incarnations for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of His transcendental activities. Purport. The Lord appears in this universe in different incarnations like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and Narasimha, and He manifests His different transcendental activities for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. The Lord is directly concerned with the twice born or civilized men. A civilized man is one who has taken his birth twice. A living entity takes birth in this mundane world due to the union of male and female. A human being is born due to union of the father and mother. But a civilized human being has another birth by contact with a spiritual master who becomes the actual father. The father and mother of the material body are so only in one birth, and in the next birth, the father and mother may be a different couple. But the bona fide spiritual master, as the representative of the Lord, is the eternal Father, because the spiritual master has the responsibility to lead the disciple to spiritual salvation, or the ultimate goal of life. Therefore, a civilized man must be twice born, otherwise, he is no more than the lower animals. The cow is the most important animal for developing the human body to perfection. The body can be maintained by any kind of foodstuff, but cow's milk is particularly essential for developing the finer tissues of the human brain, so that one can understand the intricacies of transcendental knowledge. A civilized man is expected to live on foodstuffs comprising fruits, vegetables, grains, sugar, and milk. The bull helps in the agricultural process of producing grain, etc. And thus, in one sense, the bull is the father of humankind, whereas the cow is the mother, for she supplies milk to human society. A civilized man is therefore expected to give all protection to the bulls and cows. The demigods, or the living entities who live in the higher planets, are far superior to human beings. Since they have better arrangements for living conditions, they live far more luxuriously than human beings. Yet they are all devotees of the Lord. The Lord incarnates in different forms, such as those of a fish, a tortoise, a hog, a combined lion and man, just to give protection to civilized man, the cow, and the demigods, who are directly responsible for the regulative life of progressive self realization. The whole system of the material creation is planned so that the conditioned souls may have the opportunity for self realization. One who takes advantage of such an arrangement is called a demigod or civilized man. The cow is meant to help maintain such a high standard of living. The Lord's pastimes for the protection of the twice born civilized men, the cows, and the demigods are all transcendental. A human being is inclined to hear good narrations and stories, and therefore there are so many books, magazines, and newspapers on the market to satisfy the interests of the developed soul. But the pleasure in such literature, after it is read once, becomes stale, and people do not take any interest in reading such literature repeatedly. In fact, newspapers are read for less than an hour and then thrown in the dustbins as rubbish. The case is similar with all other mundane literatures. But the beauty of transcendental literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is that they never become old. They have been read in the world by civilized man for the last 5,000 years, and they have never become old. They are ever fresh to the learned scholars and devotees. And even by daily repetition of the verses of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no satiation for devotees like Vidura. Vidura might have heard the pastimes of the Lord many, many times before he met Maitreya, but still he wanted the same narrations to be repeated because he was never satiated by hearing them. That is the transcendental nature of the Lord's glorious pastimes.
That's true.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada gives such wonderful purports.
Yeah.
Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guro Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare क्रीडन् विधत्ते द्विजगोऽसुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्यवतारभेदै मनो न तृप्यत्यपि शृण्वतां नः शुश्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि. This verse is being spoken by whom? Who's speaking this verse?
Maitreya Muni? No.
Okay,
Maitreya?
I'll read the translation, then you'll tell me. The
Oh,
translation of this
Vidura,
verse is
Vidura.
you. The translation goes like this: You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord
Yeah.
in his different incarnations
Vidura.
for the welfare of the twice born, the cows, and the demigods. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of his transcendental activities. So, who's
Vidura.
Vidura? Vidura is speaking to
Maitreya Muni.
Maitreya Muni. So, what is the context here? The context is we saw previously Vidura met Uddhava, yes,
Yeah.
on the banks of river Yamuna.
Yeah.
And there Uddhava told Vidura that, so he said how the Lord disappeared. And then he said that before that, before the Lord disappeared, he had instructed me to go to Badrikashram.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stay without him, so I followed him anyway to Prabhasa. And when I reached there, I saw him sitting there under a young banyan tree. And when I went there, the Lord
Told
actually
him to
shared, confidential knowledge with me. He gave me some confidential knowledge. Then Vidura said, please, can you tell me that? And also there he said, while I was speaking, while the Lord was looking at me, Maitreya Muni also came. And in great humility, so there's a verse in the 4th chapter, I think it's text 10 or 11, where Maitreya Muni with lowered shoulders, right, in great humility, he's sitting there behind and he's listening. And but the Lord is, all his focus is on on Uddhava. The Lord is smiling at Uddhava, and the Lord is looking at Uddhava, and the Lord is speaking. So the Lord gave confidential knowledge to Uddhava. This was told by Uddhava to Vidura. Vidura. Vidura and Uddhava met, right?
Yeah.
So Uddhava said this to Vidura, that the Lord gave me confidential knowledge. He spoke and then he disappeared. Then Uddhava said, I'm sorry, Maitreya, Vidura said, okay, I hope I'm not confusing you. Conversation is between Uddhava and Vidura
Vidura,
previously. So Uddhava is speaking to Vidura. Vidura asked a question. Can you tell me that confidential knowledge, what the Lord said? So Uddhava spoke a little bit. He didn't tell everything, he said a little bit. But then he said, I cannot instruct you
Maitreya
because
Muni was
you
there.
are my superior, senior. So it would be Maryada Vyatikrama to instruct somebody who's your superior to become that person's guru is Maryada Vyatikrama. So I will not speak. But Maitreya Muni was also there at that time. So you please go to Maitreya Muni. He will be in Haridwar. You go there and he will give you that confidential knowledge. In fact, the Lord left that confidential knowledge for you, right? He wanted to give that confidential knowledge to you. So you go. Maitreya Muni. Why Maitreya Muni? Because Maitreya Muni and Vyasdev are contemporaries. And Vidura is the son of Vyasdev. So
Yeah.
in that way, Maitreya Muni is your senior. And there is no Maryada Vyatikrama there. He will instruct you. So you learn from him. That is why Vidura came all the way to Haridwar to meet with Maitreya Muni. Then uh, uh, in the first four chapters of this canto, the third canto, we see the background of how this Vidura came to meet with Maitreya Muni. So what were the circumstances that led him? So finally now he's there. This chapter is entitled The Meeting of Vidura and Maitreya Muni. Now Vidura is asking a question. What did Vidura ask? So also we saw when Vidura came there, Maitreya Muni was seated in a very relaxed way. That means he was not in a hurry, right? Oh, you have some questions, ask me quickly, I have something else to do. Not like that. He's very relaxed. That means Vidura could go and inquire whatever he wanted, he could ask. So then he came there, and what did Vidura say? Vidura's question, pay attention. Vidura's question is that in this world, everyone wants to be happy. Yes? And for that, people are working so hard. They're working so hard. What is the goal? To be happy. But the, the irony is, although they're working so hard, happiness never comes to them. It's like, like the mirage in the desert. You see that there is water and you're running and running and running, thinking that it's right here. I'm going to get my happiness now. I'm going to reach that water now. Just let me push myself a little bit more and a little bit more. And he's running and running and running. But that water never comes. But even more interesting than that is, although he sees that there is no happiness coming, he's not able to give up this. He will keep working and working and working like that poor animal in the desert that is out of thirst. It's running and running. Finally, it drops down dead in hope of that water. But that water never comes to him because there is no water there. It's just a mirage. It's just an illusion. So, Vidura's question to Maitreya Muni is, in this world, everyone is working so hard. The purpose of all this hard work, everything that they do, right? Everything that they do is to become happy. But that happiness never comes. And even though they don't get that happiness, they don't give up this work. They keep trying and trying and trying until they drop down dead. What is this? How can one actually become happy? This is Vidura's question. There's a very significant point here. Vidura is a pure devotee. He's a pure devotee. When Krishna came to Hastinapur, he chose to go to Vidura's house instead of accepting Duryodhan's hospitality. Kunti Maharani chose to stay in Vidura's house. Kunti Maharani is a pure devotee. We see from Kunti Maharani's prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. She stays with Vidura. And that Vidura, and also we saw when Vidura went back to Hastinapur to take Dhritarashtra, we completed all this. There it is said that Yudhishthir Maharaj is telling Vidura that, my dear uncle, great personalities, great devotees like you make the holy places holy by your presence. Therefore, great devotees travel, because by traveling to all these holy places, they are making those holy places holy. That is the caliber, that is the, that is the position of Vidura. He is such a pure devotee. Now tell me, this question which is asking from Maitreya Muni, how, like, it's about how people are attached to material activities in this world, wanting to become happy. Why is he asking such a basic question? Why is he asking such a basic question? He could have asked something else, right? Because an advanced devotee, uh, he will be, what is the ultimate? Ultimate is in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 topics. The ultimate topic is Ashraya Tattvam, Krishna. The purpose of all other topics is to bring one to Krishna. So the 10th topic is the beautiful face of Krishna. Isn't it? The smiling face, beautiful face of Krishna. So someone who is an advanced devotee, why will he still ask about material activities and come out of material entanglement? He should be asking about prema bhakti, right? About Krishna's sweet pastimes. He should have asked about that. And who is he? Why did he even come to Maitreya Muni in the first place? He heard a little bit and confidential knowledge, it is said. Krishna gave that confidential knowledge. Obviously, it is some premi knowledge, right? Of a very high level, which Krishna gave to Uddhava. But Uddhava gave a little bit to Vidura. He didn't give it full. He said, go and get it from Maitreya Muni. So, Vidura's purpose of coming to Maitreya Muni is to get that confidential knowledge of Prema Bhakti. Then why he is asking such a basic question? Why is he asking such a basic question? Why do you think he's asking such a basic question? Any ideas?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is it for our benefit because we're not as high a devotees as they are?
You may think like that, but actually, when Vidura went to Maitreya Muni, of course, it's for our benefit, right? Bhagavatam now, especially when Sutta Goswami is speaking to all these sages, right? So it is, Bhagavatam is going to come to us, so for our benefit, certainly. But I'm asking Vidura's purpose. Vidura didn't know. He's meeting Maitreya one-on-one to ask about that confidential knowledge which the Lord gave, which Maitreya happened to hear. He wanted to hear that. He's not sitting in an assembly of thousands of people and for their benefit, all the conditioned souls, he's asking on their behalf. Saunaka Rishi is asking like that, we can say. But Maitreya is confidential, Vidura is confidentially speaking to Maitreya Muni. So actually, he had another purpose. I will tell you what it is.
Provoke him.
Huh?
To provoke him to just
To,
talk like this.
wow. Okay. So what happens here is, see, who is Uddhava? Uddhava is a very advanced devotee, right? A very high grade Premi Bhakta. His about Uddhava also we hear, right? Right from his very childhood, he
He
would
was with Krishna.
with Krishna. He's playing with Krishna, worshipping Krishna, feeding Krishna. His mother would call him to it, he won't go. He's constantly, and he's so Krishna conscious, so much absorbed in Krishna, he looks like Krishna.
Yeah.
He looks like Krishna. He wears the clothes. Even it is said that Krishna would give his clothes to he would wear Krishna's clothes also. That's why when he went to Vrindavan, they mistook him. Initially, the gopis, they mistook him
Yeah.
that Krishna has come. Right? This is Uddhava. So Uddhava is a very, very, advanced devotee. What about Maitreya Muni? Maitreya Muni is not on that platform. He, by good fortune, he happened to come there. Some unknown good fortune. He happened to come there and hear the message. And even it is said Krishna was not speaking to Maitreya Muni. Krishna's full attention was on Uddhava only. He's only speaking to Uddhava. For Uddhava's benefit, he's speaking. Maitreya Muni was eavesdropping. He happened to hear what Krishna was speaking to Uddhava. That means now Vidura has a question. I want to hear the confidential knowledge which Krishna gave, but did Maitreya actually grasp the message that Krishna gave or not? Because his level is not like Uddhava's. Maybe he did. I don't know. Right? So always, it is always good if you want to test, right? Your audience or your students, you go with basics first.
Basics first.
Right? And then you go higher and higher and higher. So if I go with the basic question, if Maitreya knows the confidential knowledge, he's going to reveal it anyway.
More than that.
This is actually the way to start a conversation. This is actually the way to get knowledge. Start with the basics. Then you can gauge from the way the other person is speaking, you can gauge what is the level of that person's advancement or knowledge. So, of course, Vidura's purpose was to get that confidential knowledge, but he does not know. Did Maitreya actually grasp? Did he get that knowledge? What Krishna was giving to Uddhava or not? I don't know. So let me put a basic question to him. Basic question he will answer. And if he actually got that, he will reveal it. Besides, the Lord, it is said, Uddhava said, the Lord left this message for me. Now you go to Maitreya and hear. That means Maitreya also knows that he's supposed to give this knowledge to Vidura. So he will certainly give it to me if he has it. But let's say if he does not have it and Vidura says, give me that confidential knowledge, is it not embarrassing? I don't have it. What can I give you? Right? So he's going with basics. He's asking a basic question. What is the question that Vidura is asking? So now we are in text 7. So in these verses, what we are seeing is Vidura is asking various questions from Maitreya Muni. And the subject matter of this chapter, this 5th chapter subject matter is creation. Creation. Once again, Vidura is asking questions about how this creation takes place, right? And also another topic which will be covered. Anyway, let's continue from here. So now we are seeing what are the questions asked by Vidura. One second, I'll share the screen with you. So Vidura said that he glorified Maitreya Muni, right? You travel only for the benefit of others, so on and so forth. So now, please give me instruction, text 4. Please give me instruction on the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, so that he who is situated in the heart of everyone can be pleased to impart from within knowledge of the absolute truth in terms of the ancient Vedic principles delivered only to those who are purified by the process of devotional service. Now, kindly narrate how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is independent, desireless Lord of the three worlds and the controller of all energies, accepts incarnations and creates the cosmic manifestation with perfectly arranged regulative principles for its maintenance. That means, what is the question? How is the Lord creating and maintaining this material universe or the material universes? In his various incarnations, he's coming and he's maintaining. How is he creating? Then yesterday's verse was text 9. He lies down on his own heart spread in the form of the sky, and thus placing the whole creation in that space, he expands himself into many living entities which are manifested at manifested as different species of life, he does not have to endeavor for his maintenance because he is the master of all mystic powers and the proprietor of everything. Thus, he is distinct from the living entities. What is said in this verse is that I'll have to show you something here. 1 second. Today I have my pen. I don't know how much time I will have though, but I have a problem with time management
8:32.
already. I'll tell you quickly. You're
No.
able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. I should have been prepared beforehand. I wanted to show you about creation. This will actually uh, make the whole process very clear in your uh, understanding. Losing time here.
No problem, Mataji.
I have so many
Too many,
or
right?
so many chords. I don't know which one is for what. Anyway, I'll just. It's okay. Another next class. Okay, I will.
My friends are not there.
Okay, I don't want to waste time here. It's okay. So, what was being asked here is about, see, there is first Karanodakashayi Vishnu. Karanodakashayi Vishnu glances on on Prakriti, material nature, and then Prakriti produces the 23 elements. What are the 23 elements? You have earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence. Intelligence, the controlling deities, senses, all this. 23 elements are there. Mind, intelligence, false ego, everything. So after these 23 elements are created, they form universes, right? And then the Lord, Karanodakashayi Vishnu's Prakasha. Prakasha means
Glance.
identical expansion. Just like, Krishna expands in Rasa dance, same Krishna expands into so many. He looks exactly identical. That is called Prakasha. Like that, Karanodakashayi Vishnu's Prakasha expansion is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And this Lord enters into the universe, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And he fills half of the universe with the perspiration from his body,
Yeah.
and he lays down. Now, on that water, he lays down. That is why he's called Shayi. Shayi means one who is laying down.
Lying down.
So Garbhodaka Shayi Vishnu, he's laying down there. Now, the 23 elements which were formed, yes, those 23 elements are also there inside the universe. And the universe is compared to an egg, anda. So just like egg has a shell and it has egg yolk inside, right? You have white and yellow. Like that, the universe also, the shell is there, which is made of these elements, once again, the same elements, 23 elements. And there's also a mass of these 23 elements inside also, inside the universe. Now, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is laying down on the ocean, he takes this mass of 23 elements and puts them inside his womb. Now, that mass of 23 elements which is inside, it will, just like a baby which grows in a mother's womb, like that, these 23 elements are going to develop into the Virata Purusha form. But for that to happen, exactly, uh, um, Yad brahmande tad pinde. Yad pinde tad brahmande. That means whatever development you see here on us in a on individual level, like how a baby is developing in a mother's womb here in this world, in a similar way, on a universal level, the Virata form is also developing inside Garbhodakashaya Vishnu.
Okay.
Here the period, gestation period, or
The
the
baby is growing.
pregnancy.
Baby is growing.
Pregnancy is for 9 months. There it is 1,000 celestial years.
Oh God.
For 1,000 celestial years, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu keeps this mass of 23 elements inside his womb. Then how the development starts? Again, the way the development happens here, when there is conception between male and female, and when the woman becomes pregnant, initially there is no distinction. Hands, legs, eyes, nothing is there. It's just like a mass, right? And then it just forms like a uniform, pea-sized, embryo.
Yeah.
And then it starts growing. How it grows, when it first comes, the sperm is there. I mean, the living entity is there in the sperm, and the mother is providing the material required for the development of the body. But still, that distinction is not there yet. How it develops, Paramatma enters into that. Unless Paramatma enters, there is no development.
It's no life.
So, Paramatma enters. Similarly, in the universal level also, these 23 elements are just matter. And those 23 elements also have all the living entities that come by the glance of Karanodakshaya Vishnu. All the conditioned souls are coming and they enter into Prakriti. And when Prakriti produces the mass of 23 elements, along with those 23 elements, these conditioned souls are also there. So when inside the universe, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, when he's taking that mass inside his womb, inside his belly, that mass also consists of living entities. Okay. Now that mass of 23 elements has to develop into a form. What is the first thing that happens? The same Garbhodakashaya Vishnu enters once again into that mass in the form of Paramatma. Only, and where is he entering? Hridayakasha, in the region where the heart will be formed. So it is Akasha. Akasha means space.
Space.
There is no distinction yet, but the space, right? First, the heart is formed, and heart is in the form of space. In that space, Paramatma enters. And only when Paramatma enters, the rest of the development will start. Right? So first the heart means it is space, and there Paramatma enters, and then there is development of everything else. Eyes are formed, and first holes for eyes, nose, nostrils, mouth, ears, like that. And then gradually over a period of 1,000 years, there's a full-fledged form of Virata inside the belly of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and he looks just like Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. How does Garbhodakshaya Vishnu look? Thousands of heads, thousands of arms, thousands of legs. Virata Purusha also looks just like Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And after 1,000 years, now this Virata Purusha comes out. How? From the navel, right? A lotus stem is coming out. Within that stem is this Virata
All these
Purusha.
lokas are there.
Virata Purusha is there. Person with thousands of heads, hands, legs. Virata Purusha is there. On top of this stem is a lotus flower, and simultaneously, along with Virata Purusha, Lord Brahma is also born. Lord Brahma, he appears on the lotus, Virata Purusha inside the stem of the lotus, and all the conditioned souls are with Brahma in the lotus. Now Brahmaji, what he has to do, he look at each spirit soul and his karma. They're conditioned souls. So they have karma. Based on karma, he will decide what type of body he should get, how much intelligence he should get, how much, what type of mind, right? And where is he getting the ingredients to form the body? From Virata Purusha. So he takes the ingredients from Virata Purusha, who is in the stem of that lotus. He's taking and he's giving to each living entity, deciding who his parents will be and which planet he should take birth, for how long he's going to be in that body, how much happiness, distress, who will be his wife, how many children, how much money, everything based on karma. This is Brahma, and he does this for all the unlimited conditioned souls. This is his job. And the ingredients are taken from Virat Purusha. This is not all. That is just creation. Now, after creation, for Brahmaji lives for his 100 years, which is a very long time. If I explain all that, that will take more time. We are running out of time already.
Mataji, I
But
have a question. What is Chitragupta will do?
chapter last lo, I'll tell in the end. So, so for 100 years of Brahmaji, this creation has to continue. So it has to be maintained. Now, this Garbhodakashai Vishnu expands as his Amsha, Kshirodakashai Vishnu. This is not Prakasha. Prakasha means identical. How does Kshirodakashai Vishnu look? He has only 4 arms. He doesn't have thousands of hands, thousands of legs, thousands of heads. No. One head and 4 arms. Like Lord Narayan, you see.
Yeah.
Right? One head and 4 arms is Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. And that Kshirodakashai Vishnu enters each and every atom. Also, Kshirodakashai Vishnu resides in a planet called Shvetadvip within this universe. And it is through this Kshirodakashai Vishnu, at regular intervals, the Lord appears in various incarnations as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Lord Ramchandra, Lord Narasimha, like this. At regular intervals, they appear. Why? They appear to maintain this universe, because the nature is, as time passes, uh, things start dwindling, isn't it? Uh, what is that verse in the 4th chapter? Sakale neha mahata yogo nashtah parantapa. Lord Brahma gives Vedic knowledge. First, he receives Vedic knowledge from the Lord. Then he gives that Vedic knowledge to his descendants, and it's passed down like that. But that knowledge is forgotten in course of
Yeah.
time. And also, then when the knowledge is forgotten, now the demons, they come into power. Yes, they take over, they harass those who are pious and those who are devotees. Then the Lord comes. Once again, he re-establishes dharma. And again, in due course of time, everything dwindles. Again, he comes. In this way, the Lord is coming. So, for whose sake is the Lord coming? That is today's discussion. Today's verses discussion. Okay? I have 15 minutes. Let us see what I will do in this time. Why am I sharing? I have to share the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Bhagavatam. Okay, so today's verse. So next Vidura is saying, you may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in his different incarnations. So he comes in different incarnations in this creation. Yes, through Kshirodakashai Vishnu, the Lord is coming in various incarnations. And each of these incarnations, they're completely transcendental. And they have wonderful characteristics. I want to hear about the Avatara Katha, the pastimes of all these incarnations. Okay, you please narrate. And why do they appear? For the welfare of Brahmanas twice born, Dvijas, cows, and demigods. This is significant. Srila Prabhupada spends most of the purport on these three.
Yeah.
So the Lord is coming in various incarnations for the welfare of twice born, cows, and demigods. Why? Why are they so important? This also Srila Prabhupada said in the purport, that the whole purpose of this creation, of course, the creation, if you look uh, from the perspective of rasa, right? There is tattva and there is rasa. From the Lord's perspective, if you see, it's just his pastime.
Yeah.
This creation is the Lord's pastime. He wants to go and sleep in different places. So there's creation. So he'll go to different universes, he'll sleep, he will enjoy, and he'll come back. But what is the significance for all the conditioned souls? Whenever there is a creation, it is an opportunity for the conditioned soul to get out of this cycle of birth and death, to once again be reinstated in our constitutional position. What is my constitutional position? My constitutional position is to be a servant of the Supreme Lord. Until and unless there is a creation, and even when there is a creation, until and unless I receive the mercy of a pure devotee, I don't have a chance. I don't have a chance to be engaged in my constitutional position as a servant of the Supreme Lord. So, therefore, whenever there is creation, it is an opportunity for all these conditioned souls to become self realized. So, that is the whole plan. When there is creation, the Lord is giving us Shastra, He's giving us Vedas, He's sending His associates to awaken all these sleeping souls who are sleeping in the lap of Maya. He's sending to wake us up. So, what is the whole purpose of creation? Self realization. Self realization, and not that is the first stepping stone. Self realization means to realize I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. But even beyond that is to realize I am a servant of the Supreme Lord, to be engaged in a relationship with the Supreme Lord. That's the ultimate. Bhakti, right? And developing love of Godhead is the highest possible achievable goal in the entire creation. There's nothing beyond that. That's the highest. And that opportunity you get when there is creation. Whoever is helping, whoever is helping these conditioned souls to achieve that goal, how grateful the Lord will be to that person. Who are the people who help? These three: Dvijas, cows, and demigods. How are they helping? It can be indirect or direct, indirect also. How the Dvijas are helping? Then Srila Prabhupada is explaining Dvija means a civilized person. A civilized person. What is a civilized person? Simply taking birth as a human being doesn't mean we are civilized. We think that, oh, now I speak English and I dress up, and I in a certain way, and I know how to operate computers, so I'm a civilized person. And those people in the village, who don't know anything except cooking and cleaning, they are not civilized. This is our illusion if you think like that. This is not civilization. Who is the authority to decide what is civilization? Shastra is the authority. What is Shastra saying? Who is a civilized person? That person who is Krishna conscious is civilized. The extent to which you are Krishna conscious is the extent to which you are considered civilized. The extent to which you are not Krishna conscious or God conscious, to that extent you are an uncivilized animal. Yes. This is what Shastra is saying about what is civilized person and what is not civilized person. Now, how do you become civilized person? Simply by taking birth from a father and mother, do I become civilized? No. That type of birth even animals have, birds have, everyone has father and mother. How am I better than the animals? I have to take a second birth. Second birth is when I actually approach a guru. And what is the knowledge that the guru is giving? Not just knowledge about how to eat nicely, how to sleep nicely, build more comfortable houses and earn more money. That is not a guru. Guru is he who will first of all identify what is your swabhava, what is your nature. And then based on your nature, he will prescribe your duty. What type of duty you should do. This duty also he will give you from Shastra only. Then by living your life, by performing that duty in the mode of goodness, you will actually be elevated from the bodily platform and come to the stage of self-realization. Simply by doing your duty, you can come to the stage of self-realization. Such a person is called a civilized man. Now, Srila Prabhupada is explaining about approaching a spiritual master, a guru who is actually guiding you directly and giving you diksha into bhakti. That's far even higher, even higher. So there are two levels here. Even before you become a devotee, for you to be considered a civilized person, you must be a dvija. You must be a dvija, twice born. That means you should receive Vedic knowledge by approach, and Vedic knowledge you cannot receive by going to the libraries and studying books. No, You have to sit in front of the Guru. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. That means you have to submit yourself in front of the Guru, render service unto him, and inquire submissively and hear from him. And when he speaks, that's how you receive knowledge from him. And that's when you become a Dvija, by receiving that knowledge and then applying in your life. So these Dvijas are helping in self-realization. Why? Because they receive Vedic knowledge, right? And by practicing that Vedic knowledge, by living by that lifestyle, you are coming to the state of self-realization, which is the whole purpose of creation. Then second, cows. How are the cows helping us in self-realization? Cows give us milk. That's one aspect of cows, is they give us milk. And of course, we can live even without milk, right? There are many vegan diets and all that. That means no, and they don't take milk also. But yes, your body can be sustained by other things, but your spiritual development, Srila Prabhupada explains, the finer tissues of your brain won't be developed if you don't take cow's milk. When you take cow's milk, it actually brings you to the mode of goodness where you are receptive to the conclusions of the scriptures. You're able to understand the conclusions of the scriptures when you hear. When you hear from Guru, this brings you to the mode of goodness. Your finer tissues of the brain are developed, so you're able to actually grasp the message from the scriptures. This is how the cows are helping us. Therefore, the Lord comes for the cows. For the benefit of the cows, to protect the cows, he comes. And finally, the demigods. Yes, the demigods are living a very opulent life. Why they are living an opulent life? Unless you have good karma, can you expect to live in a nice, comfortable way? No. Actually, Srila Prabhupada said in America there's so much wealth and there is no poverty. Why it is like this? Because they have pious karma from the past. That's why you're able to live like this. Yes. But in this life, if you engage in sinful activity, in killing cows and so on and so forth, your next life won't be the same. But, and also he says how they are so beautiful, it's because of, certainly, that means if you are uh, endowed with material prosperity, material benefits, certainly it means you have done some good karma in the past, no doubt about that. Now, what to speak of the demigods? They're the rulers, right? Administrators for the whole universe. And they live in such opulence, such high level of sense gratification they're getting, means certainly they must have good karma. But the difference between the demigods and people here is that even though they are in such opulence, they're always obedient to the Supreme Lord. They're devotees of the Supreme Lord. Their work, their activities are according to the Lord's injunctions in the Vedas. Those who don't accept obedience, those who are not obedient to the Supreme Lord, they are not called demigods. They are asuras. Suras and asuras. They don't, they also have opulence, but in lower planets. They are not obedient to the Supreme Lord. They are not obedient. So, because the demigods are maintaining this universe, so that while this universe is being maintained, while this creation is being maintained, it is an opportunity for all conditioned souls to come, to rise above the bodily platform and to come to their original constitutional position. Therefore, the Lord is so grateful to these persons. And for their protection, he comes from time and again in various incarnations. And then he performs such wonderful activities. Vidura is saying, I never get tired of hearing about the wonderful characteristics of the Supreme Lord. So please, even if I hear every day, I don't become tired. So please speak about the Lord's glories. I want to hear. In all his incarnations, I want to hear about Matsya Avatar, Kurma Avatar, Lord Nrsimhadev, everyone. Because his activities are all completely transcendental and they're so sweet that one never gets satiated, right? You eat a sweet, like, 10 pieces, 10 is a lot, but let's say after it, then you never want. A couple of days ago, I made pizza for my children. And then I made after a long break, after 1 month or something, and actually more than that. It was a very long time. I made, but I made enough. Okay, so they ate that evening. They ate the next day morning, and then by afternoon they were like, "I don't want to look at pizza for for a long time now," because there was so much of it.
Yeah,
So what I'm saying is there is satiation.
that's
Material,
true.
right? There is satiation. But for the Lord's pastimes, there is no satiation. What is Srila Prabhupada saying? You hear the same Bhagavad Gita every day, same Srimad Bhagavatam every day. You recite the same verses. You get more and more taste. It becomes even sweeter and sweeter
That's
and
true.
sweeter.
True.
It doesn't become stale. This is the nature of transcendental scripture of Srimad Bhagavatam. As yes, I understand. Bhavgrahi Prabhu, thank you so much for your patience. I'm ending the class here. Huh? Thank you.
No,
So, like that.
I can
So,
hear anytime. Any number of this thing.
so we will end the class here. Thank you all. We have 2 minutes, maybe one question or comment before we end. 9 o'clock.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat
Yes, Mataji.
Pranam.
Dandat Pranam,
Yes,
Mataji.
yeah, it was very nice, Mataji. But I always confused, when like Karanodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Kirudakshai Vishnu, I always get confused.
Today it
And
is very clear.
That's why I wanted to draw and show. I will be more prepared in the next class. Uh, I will show you. I mean, if the shloka goes with that, I can draw. I will show certainly. It becomes clear when you see it visually. It'll stay. It'll stay. So
yes,
I will show it one day.
yes,
Okay.
Mataji. And I just wanted to ask you, like, Karanodakshai Vishnu come from like Krishna, like manifest from Krishna, Krishna's
So
manifestation.
actually, one thing to remember is all the forms of the Lord are eternally existing. Okay, it is not that one is coming from this and after that he's not there. It's not like that. They're all eternally existing, but to show that who is the original, the first, right, in relation. So we say Krishna is the original, and next to Krishna is Balaram. The next to Balaram is Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha in Krishna Loka. In Krishna Loka. Then from that Chaturvyuha comes Lord Narayan, next level, Vaikuntha.
Oh,
And on the in Vaikuntha level from Narayan, again you have second Chaturvyuha, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. So from this Sankarshan, like there is Maha Sankarshan, then Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is Karanodakshai Vishnu.
Mataji, we need the chart.
Yes, Mataji. Sure.
Because today the way you explained it was very good. Really, I felt the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, how he keeps Brahmanda inside, and then how he creates. That was really, really, it was so nectar to me today.
Thank
I
you, Mataji.
never heard that all much. Shira Karnataka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Shira Sai Vishnu. I always listen, but not this one.
Yes, Mataji.
Actually, it really thinks, that when we bear a baby,
Yeah.
how it creates, how it
Yeah.
comes, and how many how many lives he keeps inside,
Yeah.
how much he keeps inside.
Yeah.
And those are the things, it's really, really amazing today.
Yes. Priyanka Mataji, why you didn't say before, it didn't come to you? Mataji is saying, I have that diagram already from one course that I taught
Yes,
recently.
Mataji, it just come to me.
Yeah. Now it's overtime. I shouldn't go over now. It's
No,
9
it's
o'clock
okay.
already.
Not
Next time I'll show.
for me, all the time is there in life. I'm not a working person now.
No, I should
But
honor time.
what I'm saying is that is a really, really amazing thing. We need to know. See, you know that now from his belly that all the lokas are there, and then the top Brahma is there. Brahma is the creator, second creator. We know all that just like that. But how many things have to happen?
Yeah. Acharya
And
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives all the details. Otherwise, yeah.
so,
I'll take Muktidatri Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Muktidatri Mataji.
Yeah, it's okay, Mataji. Next time we will show, then we'll yeah.
Yes, next time. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So thank you all, dear devotees.
thank you
Thank
very
you so
much
much
for
for
the nectar class.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
वृंद की
जय।
जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। थैंक यू। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.